Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show!
All right! Episode 211 of Shirt Show. We're talking with Seth from R&S Printing in Alabama. Let's go!
Hey there, hot stuff.
Hey there, baby bear.
What's going on?
Do you notice anything different?
You're sitting down.
How did you, was it when I went like this or something?
I could just see the back of the chair slightly. Look at you. Fancy
Well,
pants.
We'll see how this goes. And we might have to, you know what I think we should do is have like a stretch here and there, you know, just to.
Just stand up. It's a little hard for me in this fucking like sit backy big back chair.
That's what they're called, sit backies.
Sit backy. Yeah, this is a sit backy Ikea. It's actually the sit backy.
Mm. Oh,
Yep.
that's really what, that's the name of it at Ikea?
No. Yep.
Oh.
That's what it is.
I kind of, you're very convincing. And so or I'm really gullible. One of those two.
So how is it?
The sitting part?
The chair. You fucking hyped it up last time.
No,
It's
no,
like
no,
this
no.
revolutionary.
No, this is just my office chair from years and years.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
buy any special chair. This is a basic. I think I got it at Office Max Depot.
They even have those still?
Locations. I think they do. Yeah, but and that are the one that used to be here is gone, but you can still order them online.
I feel like those things are dying like staples. Like I barely see any staples anymore.
Where do people buy stuff at? Like Amazon, I guess.
I guess. I think the last time I went into Staples was like for an emergency and everything was like 10 times the price it is on Amazon.
So is there just going to be one store?
Expensive.
Eventually, there's just one store. That's what
I am guilty as I order from Amazon daily. So I am not that person to be like, oh, corporate, whatever. It's so convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could fight it all day long, but it's so nice to just like think of something and then immediately go to my phone and be like, I need bleep, blar, bloop. And it shows up at my door the next day.
See, there's what Amazon is working on now. You just said it. So when you think of something, that's all. Then it'll just it just it orders it. You basically just think of it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go to your phone or anything that's the waste of time.
It's just like anything and everything. It's like, okay, cool. I need fucking paper towels or I need lawnmower parts or even stuff for the shop, like all kinds of stuff. Most of our supplies, I feel like, other than inks, come from Amazon. Cups and wipes and all those things. It's crazy.
Hey, we got a review on Apple Podcasts. You know how the last episode we said, hey, when are you kicked it off and you're like, hey, wouldn't it be cool?
How we got down on our knees and begged for attention.
Don't make this not, I felt like there was some love and don't diminish that.
I'm not.
Keep it
coming. I like some attention would be nice, but if you're watching this or listening, please comment or like or tell us that we're fucking dickheads.
Yeah, in a good way.
I like negative attention too. Like good attention is good for me, like in my daily spirit. Bad attention is good for me in my like dark alone times.
Okay, so both. Actually, you like both.
Yeah.
So we got a review though. I wanted to read it, and it's on Apple Podcasts, and it made me smile because I think it's their first review. Might even be the first review this year, 2024. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Listening to this podcast is like drinking lemonade flavored bathwater.
I thought you were gonna say piss.
It's close to the same thing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think, would you rather drink lemonade flavored piss or lemonade flavored bathwater? And I know the answer to this.
Depends on who took a bath.
I know the correct, it's true. I know the correct answer to this. I have the correct answer.
I don't have a fetish, so I'm going to say bathwater.
It has nothing to do with any fetishes, though. Although bathwater could be a fetish. Why not?
That's true. I have seen people eat couch cushions.
Couch cushions?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the correct answer. The correct answer, and I know this is going to be, a lot of people aren't going to be okay with this, and that is you would have to drink the lemonade flavored piss because urine is sterile. Whereas bathwater is most likely not. You're way more likely to get sick with the bathwater, and you're not going to get sick with urine. I mean, it's sterile. What can it do?
Yeah, it's just really gross.
Well, they're both pretty gross, but you're right. The
I love that we're talking about drinking piss right now.
Never mind any of this stuff. I don't know why we said this, but
I like
anyway, that comment was from Daybreak Enterprises. I think they're out of Ohio somewhere. Maybe.
We get so many listens and so much like people listening to the show, but like so many quiet introverts that don't want to say anything out loud to us.
Mm-hmm.
So speak up, motherfuckers. We do this for you. Okay. For hours and hours.
Oh, sure.
And hours.
On there.
I got The Hobbit.
Nice.
Speaking of, I went to the theater. They re-released the extended editions in theater for one day only. All 3 Lord of the Rings movies.
Trilogy.
Yeah, I went and saw Two Towers and Return of the King. I did not get to see Fellowship because I had my kids and they did not want to see it. So I went and saw the other 2 by myself. Yeah.
I mean, if they're extended, whatever.
Both Two Towers was 3 hours, 45 minutes and Return of the King was 4 hours.
I say too short.
Right, exactly. It should have been double.
Well,
yeah.
When it was over, you were like, ah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a fan? Do you like the Hobbit movies or Lord of the Rings movies?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Like one of my favorite things, favorite movies. I watch them all the time, but I do have a gripe with them that they get in all this trouble and then the Eagles just save the day in both movies.
Yeah.
That's kind of bullshit.
Well, I would say that you're more of a fan. Like I don't have t-shirts and stuff and
right. I mean, I get it.
That kind of thing. But
I did dress as Sam for Halloween and shaved my beard.
Yeah. So
I saved a bird this morning, I hope.
Oh, okay. I have a bird story too. You go first.
Okay. I was walking around the lake this morning and I think I was coming around the corner and there, like over by this rock was like a bird. And it was like, I was like, what the fuck is this bird doing? I walked over to it and it looked like it was like a baby, like hawk or something. Like it just flew out of the nest for the first time. It was on the ground, just chilling, like wings down, just like literally just breathing. I walked over to it and I just literally was like right next to it. And it just sat there. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to leave it alone. Like, I don't know what to fucking do, but like, it's just chilling. So I continued my walk, came back, and it was like, I don't know, like a half hour, 45 minutes, came back and it was in the same spot. And I was like, this motherfucker's like, I don't know what to do. I feel bad. I just leave him here, whatever. I don't know if he just doesn't know what to do at all, or he's scared, or he's thirsty, or what. So I went and got a piece of bark and I went over to him. It was like a decent sized piece of bark. Went over to him and put it like right at his feet. And he literally, like, I didn't have to push him. I didn't have to anything. He just like hopped on. He was just like, all right, motherfucker, let's go for a ride. So he hopped on and I just walked him for a little ways to a stream. And I put him down on the shore of the stream. Train going by, Jesus.
Why?
So
like, what would
so we could get water.
Okay.
It's also like 95 degrees out here. So like I didn't want him to like die just sitting in the sun. Right. So I picked him up, put him in the shaded, like streamy water area, hoping he could like cool off and get a nice little drink.
Maybe it was some sort of sign from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
they were just trying to.
I was just trying to get a little of that good karma, you know. I was trying to see what that's all about.
Well, my story is, I was also trying to get some good karma, and so we have a wreath on our door, and I hate it. Like I hate wreaths, but Joanne loves them, and so I think it's left over from the spring or whatever. So there's this fucking wreath on our door, right? Well, a robin decides to build a nest in the wreath.
Right.
On top of the wreath on our front door. And our patio, like we have a front porch and it's kind of covered. You've seen it, and it's kind of surrounded. So it's like a good spot. Like it's sort of safe in there.
So your door or the patio is covered in shit? Which one?
Oh, so hold on. And so we, it's on our front door. And so we open the door and the door opens in, right? And so that means if there's like a bird in there, we're opening the door to our inside of our house and they're just going to be chilling inside our house while the door's open. But we didn't know this for a while. And so we were just opening our, people would come over, come on in or whatever. We'd go get Amazon on our front porch or whatever. We would just open the front door. Well, I went to do that and I was like, oh shit, there's a nest right there. Because I thought I heard something like fly away. And I was like, what does that even? And so I figured out there was a nest right there. And then I was like, Joe, I showed her and we got a ladder and we went up and looked in like to see if they had already laid eggs. Because if the robins already laid eggs, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to let the babies be born or whatever, because that's my good karma. So there's eggs in there. They're like blue, like the turquoise.
Yeah. I thought you said you grabbed them and like fried up a nice little over.
No, that would have been high in protein. I love eggs. Don't get me wrong. But so anyway, we left them. This was going back like 10 days, a little bit, like a while back, 2 weeks ago. And I looked up and if they are not hatched, like they hatch in something like 2 weeks. And so I looked it up. Today is the day. Because I haven't seen that bird again. I haven't seen.
You're going to hear like crazy bird chirping.
No,
born.
They're not born. It's only one egg.
I know. I'm saying when they are, you're going to.
So there's no they. It's it when it's born, because there's one egg in there now. Because 3 days ago there was an egg on the sidewalk, like something went in there and got it and it was going to eat it, and then it just left it on the sidewalk.
It was Joanne. You can picture her like.
That's bad karma.
Eating a baby bear. Yeah.
Joanne's got some bad karma now.
I know.
And so here's the answer. You're right. There was going to be shit everywhere, right? But instead, right now, there's just like a lot of mud.
Right.
Because the robins, they use not just twigs and shit, but they use mud. And so we have to, today it gets taken down. Today was the final day. And it's going in the trash. The wreath is going in the trash too. And we have to paint our door now. Is it good karma or bad karma? You're just tossing it all out. What do I do with it? What do you mean?
Just let it be. Leave it there.
No.
In classic Andy and Joe fashion, leave it up for the next season.
No. Nope, it's gone. I don't like
the Christmas tree that's up year round. It's the birthday decorations that have been there for 4 years.
Dylan, when you stayed at our house, was there a Christmas tree? A month ago?
You probably just took it down or pushed it in a closet.
Okay. All right. I thought you just said year round, though. Okay. We just lost that argument.
Sorry.
All right.
That's cool.
How is Frank? You ask. He's great. We talked print grip a little bit because we're on our.
How's it going?
So here was the initial assessment, day one. Actually, before we even put it on, this is what my press op was like. Nope. Don't like it before it was even on. Like,
yeah, but that's every press op. Anytime you introduce anything new, you could be like, this is called H2O. It's good for your body, not Monster Energy drink all day long. And they'd be like, no, that's gross. Fuck that.
That's right. Like water from the toilet.
Right.
So day 1, or sorry, day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3.
Ooh, it's coming up.
Wherever we are now, it's like here. So the thumb is over half good. Like it's good. It's
right. They're easing into it.
Yes, it's growing on them. It's kind of sticking to them.
Mm-hmm. Just like mold.
And so I think the answer is yes, we like it. I'll update you next week. But look, it all starts with a screen, and whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com or
rank.com
or
greatfuckingscreens.com.
Cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals will make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Check them out at easyway.com. EasyWay.
It's the easiest way, baby.
GraphX is the source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. We use them every single day. Learn more at graphxsource.com. Choosing the right emulsion for your shop is complicated, and that's why we love Chromaline. Go to chromaline.com to watch Kev's vids or contact him on Instagram at the Emulsion Guru and get the answers you want and desire. Mm-hmm. Something else you might want to desire is S&S because they've been our go-to shirt source.
That's the best transition that I think you've ever done.
You ruined it. I was going and then
It's my favorite. It was like a 10-second pause, and then it was like another thing you can desire.
Well, it's true because S&S hooks us up. They have 8 distribution centers, which allows them to ship to 41 states in one day. Get yourself an inside or an outside rep or both at ssactivewear.desire.
Yes.
Or com. You could try that.
It was funny. I don't know if you saw it or not. I don't think you chimed in. Maybe you did. In Mild Boys chat, we were talking about who was our go-to, and everybody's was S&S.
Yeah, duh.
Today's episode is sponsored by the OG of the shirt game, American Apparel, the original go-to tee of the industry, the original premium tee that has inspired all others. The 2001 has been copied and ripped off so many times that I can't keep track anymore. AA is back, baby. Make American Apparel your go-to for premium blanks.
Hell yeah, baby.
Hell yeah, baby.
And of course, let's not forget Screen Print GPT. It was developed by our good buddy Matthew Michael Marcotte. And you definitely need to sign up for this free problem solver, or you are Yamo. You are missing out.
Yes.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Who we got today?
Yeah, Dylan. Today, we are talking to Seth from R&S Printing, located in beautiful Daphne, Alabama.
Alabama. You ever been to Alabama?
Of course. Yeah, many
Look at
times.
this fucking thing. This is a model popped on.
There we go.
What's up, handsome?
I think we're good. What's up, guys?
How are you?
Man, I'll tell you what. You know what I've always wanted to do? Hang on one second.
I got a long list.
I've always wanted to do this. Shirt show! Shirt show! Dude, it's like every time the intro comes on, I have to hit that. I have to go, shirt show! And then the yeah, I love it, dude.
Especially when you have headphones on and you're by yourself and then you just start yelling shit and people think you're crazy.
That's my wife every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like trying to watch like Grey's Anatomy and I'm like screaming.
I do that sometimes when I walk in the morning at the lake. I realize that I have headphones on and other people around me can't hear what I hear. And then I realize I'm like singing or saying something. And then people just think I'm like creepy weirdo walking by himself.
Yeah, that's me at the gym too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Dylan, he just asked me if I have been to Alabama, and my answer was yes, because we used to drive to 30A. We stay on 30A a lot.
Oh yeah.
And so we fly now, but we drove so many years. And one year we were driving there and we had to stop at this hotel in, I want to say it was something like Montgomery. That might have been it. And we check in and we go to our room and it's late, like, I don't know, towards midnight. And we just want to go to bed.
Sounds like a romantic book you're about to start. You're reading it out loud.
Nope. There's nothing. There's nothing romantic.
Alabama and it was.
I wish that's where this story was going, and it got a little hot and heavy, but it doesn't. We go to crawl in bed, and Joanne like puts the sheets up by her, and she smells. She says something's wrong, and so we think that there was urine that somebody had accidentally. We were talking about urine earlier, and so we shouldn't have worried about it, right? Because it's sterile.
It's a piss episode, yeah. So if you got anything to shower,
I like to pee my pants.
We were like, okay, this is bad. We decided to go down just to leave, like, because that was they were fully booked, and so we can't get a different room, and so we're like, we're gonna leave. We're like, oh, we'll just get another room in a different hotel because they're sold out. Well, it turns out the entire city of Montgomery was sold out. There was some sort of event there, like a military event there, graduation or something like this. And so we spent the night in our car in the parking lot of a hotel we wish we could have checked in to.
Why didn't you just sleep on the piss sheets? You never slept on a little piss?
Why not?
Looking back,
you couldn't have called down and been like, hey, can you bring us fresh sheets?
Yeah.
Usually, okay, Dylan, that's what you
These
would
are
have
just
done.
logical.
That's what you,
These are just
no,
logical questions.
No. You think that just the sheet, like the mattress is fine? I mean, like,
dude, how many hotels have we stayed at? You think there's not fucking bodily fluids all over that room?
well, it's
Every
it's a good
square
point,
inch of a hotel room is covered in people.
But I'm not
juice.
sleeping on every square inch of the hotel room. I'm in the bed. And so look, my wife didn't like it and I took care of her.
I guarantee the fucking housekeepers have pissed on every bed.
I mean, what's wrong with a little bloody nose action on a pillowcase? I mean, come on.
I'm
You know?
what?
Speaking
I'm the
of,
weird one. I'm the weird one here.
When we were
I mean,
at
what's
Disney,
up?
when we were at Disney, my son bled all over the pillows, like all 4 of his pillows on his bed.
I feel for him. I went through that as a kid.
Like a bloody nose type thing?
Yes.
Yeah, he had a bloody nose, but I don't know how he got on every fucking pillow. Like he was bleeding on one and was like, this one's got blood on it, and grabbed a fresh one. This one's got blood on it.
It wasn't your personal ones, was it? Like,
no,
yeah,
they were
some
just
people
the
bring
Disney.
their
The Disney pillows. And the funny thing was, like, we walked out of the room at one point to like go start the day, and there was a super creepy serial killer looking fucking what are they called now? I'm missing out. The people who clean the rooms, and he's like, oh, do you need me to come in and do anything? And I was like, oh, we need pillowcases and towels. He's like, all right, I'll do it when you leave. And like, I felt weird just leaving bloody pillows on the bed. So I like stripped the pillows of the pillowcases and like put them in with the towels, like wadded them up in the middle. And just like, hopefully he doesn't see the blood everywhere.
Have you seen those videos of people like acting like they committed a murder before they leave?
Yeah, where they stack the pillows and like put the sheets around them like a dead body.
Done that.
Yeah.
You should have done
with
that.
the blood all over the top of them.
Yeah.
At Disney.
Yeah. How great would that be?
So, how's things? And tell us a little bit about your shop. A quick rundown before we get into today's topic.
So if it was December, right, I'd be scratching 2 pennies together. But right now we're super slammed. Thank God. I mean, super blessed, very humbled, because I know it can get taken away easily. I've been through a lot in the past 5 years we opened up in 2019. So, we went through the COVID like everybody else, went through, we have hurricanes here. So got destroyed by a hurricane. My house got destroyed. So we had to rebuild after Hurricane Sally. So, but right now, everything's going great. I mean, we're received over 100 boxes yesterday, 100 boxes again today. It's just getting them in, getting them out. But the main problem with us is just getting good help. I don't have enough good hands back there. Experience help. I think it's the humans. The presses can print all day, but just getting some more. How can I say this? Getting more people back there to help. The team that I have is amazing. So
it's funny. Me and Andy were kind of talking about this yesterday. We won't get into that because it's too close to home and too personal. But it was funny. I saw a reel yesterday. It was like one of these like motivational speaker guys. I really try to avoid those, but I got sucked in because he was talking about how did he put it? He said, "Stop hiring stupid people," and I was like, what the fuck? And that's what sucked me in because he was like, stop hiring stupid people. And he's like, have you, and this is 100% happened to me. He's like, have you rewritten your like policies and whatever to like fix the stupid problems that stupid hires have done? Like, don't wear like plaid pajama pants to work, and like don't do this, and like don't watch Netflix at your desk, and like all these things. He's like, you shouldn't be adding that shit to your thing. You should just stop hiring stupid people. And I'm like, that's cool to say as like a reel, but like, where are these not stupid people? Like in reality, like you don't know until you hire someone and find out that they have like something that's just like, how is this not common sense to not do? So,
I've had I got a really bad horror story. I went on my honeymoon. I got married a couple of years ago, and I went on my honeymoon, and I got the infamous call of, "Hey, we messed up shirts on my honeymoon." I'm like, okay, like figure it out. I'm on my honeymoon, something I've always dreamed of having, and we're beautiful Cancun, Mexico. And come back the next week and it's like $150,000 worth of shirts just toasted. I mean, just burnt from the dryer because they weren't checking on people watching Netflix shows at the end of the dryer. And I mean, it devastated us so bad that, you know, I actually had to go in and let everybody go. And I had to restart from scratch again. It was a terrible.
All because of that order?
Yeah. Because of that order.
Damn.
Yeah. It was terrible. You know, I mean, when you mess up that many shirts and it kills your cash. I mean, especially when you're first starting out in business, as you guys know, we didn't have a lot of capital, you know, because we started off with really nothing. I mean, I can go into all that too, but yeah, coming back to something so devastating as in just leaving for a week for your honeymoon and coming back to up in flames of, am I going to be doing something else now? I'm going to be, you know, a landscaper or whatever, because I can't make payroll. I can't pay my bills because everything's gone.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm guessing you didn't have some kind of insurance on that to cover that. You just ate it.
I ate it. I ate it and kept on pushing through, let everybody go. You know, we're a family ran business. So got my mom, dad, me, my sister, got back there on the presses, ran them, and made it.
Dylan, what is the biggest order you goofed? So we've got down here 150K. What's your biggest?
Yeah. I'm
goof?
nowhere near that. Nowhere near that.
Where do you think you might be?
I want to say maybe like $8,000 is probably the biggest oof we've ever had.
Yeah. It was one of those just massive big runs that are like, you know, whoa, yeah, we got it, you know, and it was amazing and a blessing. And I'm on a honeymoon and I'm not really there, you know, so it's just, anyways, it happened.
Hey, it's your fault that you left.
Yeah. So, but it happened. And, over the past 5 years, guys, like y'all both have, I've learned so much. I mean, just so much, and like when to step back, when not to step back, all those things. And like you said, the stupid people and all that stuff, you know, you got to just keep on weeding through them. And like just the other day, a few weeks ago, the person's not here anymore, but they're watching Netflix again behind the dryer. You know, it's just like, hey guys, like we have to, you know, keep quality check and stuff like that. So
do you partition your Wi-Fi at your shop? Do you know?
I do not. I have to find out. I think it's all open. I think it's just because I have everybody on like Monday app and stuff so they can check jobs and.
Yeah, but you can go in and say
they could use the data on their cell phone too.
Yeah, that's true. But to watch Netflix, maybe.
I think they're using their data.
Oh, are they?
Because we're not giving them the codes.
So I have, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, I got to the shop and we're already short staff. It's that kind of time of year where people are on vacation, take PTO, you know, and somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, we have 3 cases of shirts that it's a left chest print. And on the way over here, there's a pinhole and we got to spray them out because it's going to retail. And so it's like, it was really small and then maybe we'd be fine on some orders, but this was going to retail. Got to spray it out. I was like, okay, I'll take care of it because we were already, I didn't want to pull somebody off from doing whatever they were doing. So I went over there and started to do it. And while I'm standing there, like the whole time I'm thinking to myself, like, how could we have prevented this? You know? And so one of the things that occurred to me is that should we have some sort of stop check in place and, you know, like make it up. Like if you're on a big run of like, let's say 1,000 or whatever it is, should you be stopping every 100 and QCing that at the end of the dryer? I know that's a hassle because like, okay, wait, we got to stop and go look. It's also a hassle to spray out, you know, 3 cases of shirts. Mm-hmm. And, you know, because whose fault is it? Because you want to look at this left chest print because that's where your focus is. Like, hey, how does it look? It looks good. We haven't ran out of ink or whatever, and we're pulling it off. And you think the person at the end of the dryer should be looking at it, but they're also counting and getting into the boxes and they're looking at, but they miss it way off on the other side. And so like a couple of things, one, should there be a stop check? And number 2 is, and I'm going to have to call and make sure I can mention this, and we might have to cut this out of the episode, but our site has been chosen to beta test the image capture from M&R. And I asked them, I was on a Teams meeting and I asked them, I said, hey, can we select the parameter of this print? And if there is like a pinhole, would it pick it up and alert us? It's going to notify us and say, hey, it's going to go yellow, and it's going to say there's like a light on top of it, and it'll go yellow and say, hey, there's a pinhole. So that would be awesome, right? Because you're going to notice that it's going to pick it up right away. So, I mean, obviously not everyone's going to have that system. I don't know what it's going to retail for or anything like that, but we're doing it.
We have a stop check.
Okay, so how does that work? You do that now because of the burn shirt order, or when did you start it?
So we put it into place as soon as that happens. So we do mainly retail. Like that's kind of 100% of what we do. So and what we also do 95% of the time is comfort colors. Yay! You can't spray them out.
Can't blow out.
Yeah. So we get pinholes and stuff all the time. So what we're doing is that a typical order for us, like let's say a small gift shop or something, is 288 pieces. So typically they're doing 144 of each color. So like, let's say like paprika and lagoon blue. So I'll do like lagoon blue, 144 of them, and then I'll make them run it out. Just run it out. Let's stop the press. Let's do one color of paprika and then see if there's any blemishes, any dots, anything like that. And that has helped us tremendously. Mm-hmm. Just, hey, let's take a break for a second. Let's just run out the rest of these colors of these shirts, because you know how it is when you change a color of a shirt, a lot of times something may just pop up because of the ink color, or black may show up better on a certain color or something like that. So we put that into place, and that has helped us tremendously. So yeah, we started that as soon as all that shitstorm happened. So
it's the worst shirt too to mess around with like that.
Oh man, comfort colors, and it's what everybody
It's my favorite
wants.
shirt, but it's just one of those things. Like it's you can't blow them out.
Yeah, yeah, and I have a lot of horror stories of comfort colors not blowing out and doing hundreds of shirts with registration mark still on them, and you could barely see like a registration mark, but it's just like it looks like a little pinhole, but nobody saw it. Like you said, it's on the other side of the shirt, and you're like,
it's always on the edge of the palette where you couldn't see it on press.
Yeah, exactly.
So back to your story.
Yeah.
How did you get into this?
Okay, so let's go back to the very beginning. I'm not going to drag it on. So actually, I was kind of born into this because my dad, he's been doing it for over 35 years. So he retired out after doing it for 35 years with a extended family business. I was in high school. We had a gym. So I was signing up gym memberships. And that's kind of where I got my sales background, is talking people into, working out, which that's probably one of the hardest sales you could ever achieve. In my opinion, is getting somebody to commit to $35 a month for a 3-year contract or something like that. So I got really good at sales, and then somebody came in and bought out the gym, which that was amazing. And when that happened, I said, well, I've always wanted to be in stunts and movies. So I got into trying to be an actor. Was very fortunate to do some stunts in movies with some cool folks like Nicolas Cage, stuff like that.
You did all this from Alabama?
Yeah. So they had open tryouts in Alabama and Mobile, actually, which I'm only like 15 minutes away from Mobile, Alabama. And they had this movie coming out. And it's a terrible movie. It's called Rage. It was on Netflix. I don't know if you ever remember that movie or not. You remember it?
I don't, without looking. I'll have to see.
It was terrible. But I waited in line like everybody else. It was just an open call. And I've always wanted to do this, right? So I was one of those crazy people like America's Got Talent. So I'm like just standing out there waiting. I auditioned. I thought I did terrible. Obviously, I got a call back. He was like, hey, this is the stunt director. Is this Seth? I was like, yeah. And he was like, hey, how about you come in and do some stunt performance stuff? You ever done stunts? Could you get hit? Have you played football? All these things. And I was like, no, but I can. Yeah. I'll say yes to anything. I'm down to do anything. I'll take a punch. Yeah. So they had me come downtown Mobile. I did a stunt tryout with 50, 60 other guys. And they pulled me to the side and they said, "Hey, congratulations, you're moving on to the next audition. But you're actually going to do a audition with Nicolas Cage himself." And I went, "Wow, okay, cool." So came in like a week later, nervous as hell. I'm like shaking, literally. I walk in and they're like, "Hey, here's the knife that you're going to use for this little scene that they had created." It was all just a bullshit scene, just to find out the chemistry, if I can even work with him. So all of a sudden Nicolas Cage comes in, and he's all walks in, he's got his chains, he's got like this white t-shirt, jeans, all cut up. And he comes in, he's like,
paint the picture for me.
Yeah. And he's like, "Hey, how are you?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm doing good." And he was like, "All right, nice. Where do we put our wallets?" And I was like, "I think over there." And he's like putting his wallets and his keys and everything. And what's funny is I was telling Christina how I actually got the role. Kid you not. Nicolas Cage scared the living shit out of me. I was supposed to attack him. He's supposed to come at me with a knife. I'm on the ground trying to, let me try to paint a picture while I'm on this little camera. But I'm on the ground trying to grab a gun so I can aim up and try to shoot Nicolas Cage. He grabs a knife to turn to come at me, to attack me. So I'm on the ground. I'm all, and I look up. And as soon as I look up to try to get the gun, he goes, "Oh, ah!" And like, as soon as he comes at me, dude, I'm like, "Oh shit." Like, I'm so scared that the director walked up and was like,
you were really good at acting.
Yeah. He was like, and I was like, "I'm scared shitless." So, and then, the end of that was, he's like, "Hey, Nick Cage, nice to meet you." And I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you too." He goes, "So how long have you been in the biz?" And I was like, "First day."
Today.
And he goes, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Yeah, I mean, like today." And he goes, "Oh, fantastic." And then he grabbed his keys, grabbed his wallet, and he headed on out. So
right. He had to find out where to put his heavy ass wallet because it's full.
So that's the other joke too. I kind of made a little comedy skit in my head saying that he grabbed my wallet and then he was like, and he goes, "Oh, this is definitely not mine." And he puts it back down there, walks out. So
what I get from this is that,
no, go ahead, Andy.
No, I was going to say, so what I get from this is that Nick Cage is basically just himself and in all
Nicolas
movies.
Cage
like
is himself.
He's not really acting. He's just like saying things in movies that he would just normally say.
He is Nick. Nick is Nick, man. He is the Nicholas. So, but I worked with him and then it kind of spread from there. And then I started working with some other folks for a little bit. And I didn't do it very long. It just wasn't for me. I just found out very quickly it wasn't for me.
I think you're wrong because I think you're really good at it. I think you missed your calling.
Yeah, you fucked up.
There's still time.
Whatever.
There's still time.
Yeah. Well, I got done doing that, and then we can come back to it if y'all want. But I got done doing that, and like I said, had the gym experience. So, and this kind of actually, Andy, this is kind of something maybe you may like. I don't know. I know you're a St. Louis area. So when I was like in 9th grade, this is where my creativity brain comes in. But I've been doing haunted attractions for over 10 plus years. So I know you have like the Darkness and stuff like that up there in St. Louis.
Yeah, we actually print merch for them.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's funny because I had no idea where you were going. You're like, "Andy, I know you have the darkness." And I was like, I thought you were about to say, "I know you have the darkness inside you." So I think you'll like the story. And I'm like, "Whoa, hold on."
No, I just figured because it's such a big thing up there, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, but hell, look at you. You're printing stuff for him." He's a really nice guy that owns it. But I've been doing haunted attractions forever. So the haunted attraction that we had, it grew to over 20,000+ people in a month that were pushing through this haunted house. And I had a amusement park come in and actually buy us out, and that's where we actually got the capital to start the printing shop. Was from the money that we made from selling the haunted house. So that's kind of where this was born 5 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm scared of haunted houses, like of haunted attractions, I should say. Not I'm probably also scared of haunted houses, but it seems like the one time, I guess the reason why is I was in college, we all went like a bunch of friends went to this haunted attraction. And then I got in there and there was like a maze and it turned dark and we got stuck. And then it fucked us up. Like we couldn't get out for a while and people were like yelling at us. And so I was like, I don't know why. I don't like the maze part.
Yeah, it's funny is that every time somebody's in line, they'll walk up to you and they'll go, "Hey, sir, is this scary?" And then I'll look at them, I'll go, "No, we just tickle you. What are you talking about?" And I walk off and they're like, "Oh my God, Mom, they tickle you in there." Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I'm not a horror person. I don't really watch like horror movies or whatever. I'm not really a big fan of the genre, but like, my next door neighbor growing up at my dad's house, was like, I don't know what religion they were or whatever, but they did homeschool and everything. And they had horses and they had this barn and they're real nice people, but they were like, it's Halloween. They're like, "Oh, we wanted to like make our own haunted house in the barn." And I think we were the only people they invited over. And all I remember was we were walking down the barn, like hallway in the dark, and they were like, "Just put your hands in these holes." And I was like, "What?" And I just like, you reached into like this piece of wood they put a hole in, and then they just had like bowls of random food that like felt weird, where it was like, oh, we had like skinned grapes and we had like fucking spaghetti and stuff. And I was like, this is creepier than any haunted house I think I'll ever attend. Like,
it's kind of like
homeschool haunted house.
I almost held up a teddy bear and said, where were you touched? But
right. Exactly. I mean, you know, whatever, but I don't remember that part. I blacked out, I think, but that was probably scarier than anything I think I could ever attend. But
it's like a glory hole,
real
but
grade school.
Haunted hole, maybe, or something.
Haunted hole?
Haunted hole. That's what they call them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's brains. It's really like uncooked spaghetti. Yeah.
Or it is actual brains. And they're like, oh, no, it's spaghetti.
Hey, and that's where the horror comes in, folks.
So you sold the gym memberships, and then you were apparently hell of a salesman to do the haunted house.
Oh, and then you skipped over something too. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then you did the screen printing stuff. Like the topic of today's episode was more like the sales and marketing.
Yeah.
So I want to know why and how, and if you have anything to contribute to doing it differently.
So, I can take a step back because I said I skipped over something I actually did. My dad, right before he retired out, he was running the other print shop still. So in between doing the stunt stuff, you're not making any money. So I was trying to help sell shirts. So my problem is that I was a hell of a salesman. I could talk to anybody, right? Is how I feel, you know.
I feel like that's half the battle though.
Yeah, it is. And so I was like, I could talk to anybody. I can figure this out because I was money hungry because I wanted to be a stunt guy and I had to make some money. So anywho, I was out there and I had catalogs. I was pushing anybody. I didn't care if it was somebody selling cupcakes or if it was a construction place. I would just walk in the door, hand them a catalog, say, "Hey, my name's Seth. I print t-shirts," that kind of thing. And that kind of gave me and opened up my shell of grinding it out and just being out there and pushing basically door-to-door sales with t-shirts. But the problem is that people would always message me back, especially when I tried getting into, you know, higher volume stuff like tourism, you know, like these gift shops, these restaurants around us here in 30A, stuff like that. You know, the problem is my product wasn't good enough. So they would tell me, "Seth, we love you, but your product isn't that great. So, but you know, if you have something better, you can come back and talk to us." So the problem is that the screen print shop that he was with, they didn't ever want to grow with the times. They had a javelin since like a 6-head javelin from like 1990. One
of those shops that only prints 12 by 12 and it's just spot color only kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I really want to get into the sim process stuff. I really, you know, I had all these like exciting things because I could see the potential of the volume and making more money and, you know, all that stuff. So that is another reason why I kind of got that itch to create my own place as well, because in our area, there was nobody that had like, you know, just like a good product in our area that I felt like had a good product. So that's how this kind of started. So, but when it comes to sales, like let's just fast forward to here at RNS Printing. When I first started, I mean, I owe a lot of this to, you know, not only my staff, but my dad and John is our lead illustrator. He helped start this company with us. So all those beautiful designs and stuff that we have on our Instagram and socials, he's probably done 90% of that stuff. So if I didn't have that amazing artwork, I think it would have been or still somewhat of a harder sale. Yeah. Just to go door to door. So, but so in the very beginning, first 2 years, I would literally get in my car. I'd go down to the beach and I would go door to door. If it says, don't come in here, don't solicit, I would still do this little method that worked great for me. And that is, I kind of threw in some white lies here and there, but you got to sometimes. I would hold up a shirt. Like, let's say it's here, I'll just give you an example. But like, I'll hold up like this shirt here. Like, I'm like, hey, look, I'm doing this shirt for these people next door. And I'm like, if y'all need anything, just let me know. And then I'd basically put them on a rotation. So I would come back to them like every Tuesday. You know what I mean? So I would literally just grind it out all day long. I'd go door to door sales, and then I'd get back at like 5 o'clock and then probably print until 3 or 4 in the morning, and then just do it every day. And
do you think that stuff is still viable today? Do you think door to door is like a good method?
Yes. And the reason why, I think old school is the best way to do it. I mean, I'm 31 years old, and everybody that's my age, they're still behind their phones and emails, and, they don't want to talk on the phone. But, I'm that crazy 31-year-old guy, I guess, that still will, knock on their door and see them face to face, or call them, or because they're going to remember me before they're going to remember somebody else, is how I feel.
I mean, they're going to remember you and your conversation over just a random text, like email or something.
For sure. So
especially if you do some sort of Nick Cage impersonation or something, then how can you forget that? I think so. I used to do a little bit of that. I mean, when we first started, you open up and, we didn't have a whole lot of work. And of course, when I started, it was pre-Instagram. So that's not fair because, it may have been different, my startup, but, I did the same thing more though. It was a little different. And that is, it's like if I had a drop off, let's say I had an order, and I was doing a little bit of that for people just to try and make it convenient, and I'd go run an order out and drop it off. Well, then I would sort of like quickly look around where I was, and I was already out of my car. I would just go walk to the next, like whatever it was next door, and just walk in and drop off my card. I'm already there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So why not just go next door and say, hey, I'm Andy. I just did some shirts, sort of like what you just said. I just dropped some shirts off over here. Here's what we do. We do this every day. If you're ever in need, give me a call. And so, you're interrupting their situation because that happens here. And sometimes I'm cool about it. I am. Sometimes I'm like, hey, no problem. I'll talk to you for a minute. If you're quick and don't do give me the whole thing. If you're quick about it, then,
that's what she said.
Then cool.
Yeah. You have to learn to know when to shut up, and that's the main, people try to oversell. You need to just show the product, tell them what you can do, and get the hell out. And, just follow up with them. Follow-ups is key. I mean, every big client that we have, I literally every Tuesday, and I kid you not, my mom thinks it's hilarious because she's like, oh, it's Tuesday. But every Tuesday, I will literally follow up with people that still haven't even reached back out to me. But I have a list of like these clients that are my dream clients. Yeah. And I'll just use one for example, because I mean, y'all can see our Instagram and stuff, and I'm not hiding anything. But I reached out to Margaritaville for 5 years straight, and they finally just got back to me. And the guy that's there, he actually laughed about it. I actually saw him at a show, and he goes, dang, man, basically, you've been trying to get a hold of me for 5 years, like, well respected. Like, we respect that. So until they put a restraining order on you, like, never stop. Like,
if you don't mind sharing, like, what is your plan with that? Like, your Tuesday attack, like, what is it? Is it a phone call? Is it an email? What is the voicemail like?
Yeah. So it all depends. I kind of feel out the person too. Like, if they never answer the call, then I'm probably not gonna call them. So I'll just keep on emailing them. And it will just be a follow-up email like, hey, this is what we've been doing lately. These are some trends that I feel like are coming up. Like just kind of like keeping them in the loop, like they already work with us.
It's something showing something new or something current that you're doing, and not just like, hey, touching base. Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah. Because if I kept on like trying to get a hold of you, Dylan, about like shirt show, you'd have been like, oh, dude, this freaking guy again. But if I was like, hey, man, check out this cool shirt because that's what we relate on, you'd be like, oh, dude, that's kind of a badass Terminator tee. I like that, you know? So it's just you have to like learn to relate to people and adapt to people because everybody's personalities are different. And in sales, you have to learn to adapt with people's personalities, people that are a little bit more quiet, or people that are like me that are just out there. You just have to adapt and figure out what they like. You know, a lot of times in a conversation, I'll just ask them a couple quick questions of like, hey, what do you buy? Oh, we're here in Chicago. I'm like, oh, I've been to this restaurant. And then you're like, oh man, they like spaghetti or whatever. And then you just find stuff to relate on. A lot of people.
I just feel like the hardest part is getting the actual person on the phone or getting the person to reply to the email. And that's something we're kind of dealing with right now is because I've talked about it in this episode or on this show a bunch, but like we hired like Kevin Baumgart to come out and like teach my staff how to like properly do sales and all these other things. We kind of figured out a cadence of how we want to reach out to people, and we had to custom make a thing with Pipedrive to keep track of all these leads and everything that we're trying to do. And more that we're doing it, we're weeding out things of like, this seems like we're begging, and this seems like we're like the phone calls, instead of 5 phone calls, maybe it's 2 or 3 or whatever. And we're just kind of weeding it down to like what actually is working and what is not working. And I feel like it's got to be different for everybody. But that's the thing is like, the name of the game seems to always be hit up 100 people and hear back from 5.
Yeah. But those 5 people that got back with you are the ones that are probably still not going to do anything. And you just got to keep following up. Yeah.
Well, that's my thing with these guys is I'm like, you know, we hit up 100 people and we hear back from 10. Those 10 are new customers, and those customers tell 10 people, and then it snowballs into this and this and this. So I think that's the thing. It's just like you said, like if you're doing door to door, or you're emailing constantly or whatever, it's really cool to maybe give them almost like a newsletter of what you're doing instead of just like, hey, work with us. Hey, we'd like to work with you. Like, you need anything? Can we help? Like maybe more of just like a current events posts or an email than just give me money.
I think what's important to recognize here also, though, is that, and I don't know if you still do this, still do your every Tuesday thing, but, this is something I used to do when we were first starting. And so I think our sales over time changes because I think ultimately what my goal was to build brand. Because if you have a brand, then that you don't need sales. Like if you have a very, very strong brand in your city. And so if I'm known here where I'm at, that's my sales. And so I'm good. I don't need, and it doesn't even have to be in our city. It could be nationally. I could be known. So I'm going to get the referrals that I need just based off of my brand and the recognition. And so we've spent 15 years, building our brand. Initially though, there's no brand. The year 1 or whatever, you don't have a brand. Who are you? Like you're just this anonymous, like every other screen printer. And so I think that you have to build some accounts, right? And however you get them, you just got to go get them. You got to grind it out and go get them. And then while you're doing that, though, don't lose sight of building your brand and who you are, because that's going to be your ultimate sales person. My stepson has this detailing business he's trying to launch. It is launched, but he's trying to grow. And we're printing some shirts for him here. And he sends me this QR code. He's like, put the QR code on the back of the shirt, And then I did. I told him I didn't want to, but then I did. And he looked at it and he's like, I don't know. Is it even it's kind of small. I'm like, here's the thing. I don't think anybody's going to come up and scan your QR code on your shirt. I just don't think it's going to happen. And it doesn't look quite as professional when you're there, doing your thing. I think your sales, your new customers are going to come from referrals and your social media. So just build your brand, like be good, be a really good detailer and give a customer like more value than they're paying, and you're going to be fine. And so I think that while we should have, a sales plan, I think equally we need to have a brand building plan.
I do agree with you fully on growing a brand and being known for something. That's something that I've strived for a long time with Upstate. But I also feel like the clients we're trying to go after for the last 5-6 years or whatever, and probably even you with like Margaritaville, is like those customers aren't the customers that are telling everybody about us. They're like, they'll never refer us ever.
Yeah, they want to keep you in their arsenal because, you know, I have other big clients too, and they'll let you, they will let you know straight up, like, hey, and they'll joke about it, and they're like, hey, you know, hopefully you don't get too many other big clients, you know, because they don't want
they
you.
want you at their disposal at all times.
For sure.
So what
And
you're
I
saying
get
is
it.
that you got to go get it. You're not going to get referrals from that type.
I'm saying that the clients that we want and the ones that we've been really trying to go after are ones that will not talk about you. And that's the problem. And that's the thing.
100% agree.
That's the thing that we've been going after is, and yeah, the brand has been awesome for just like the regular people who come here. And like Andy, it's perfect for you. Like you're saying, I want to be known for St. Louis to people that come to ShirtCon or whatever. But I'm saying like, not the regular people that would come in and order whatever. I'm talking the ones that are
You're
like,
going
okay,
after the
it's
buyers.
right. I'm going after this like massive corporation or whatever. That's like,
I understand.
we want to order, you know, hundreds of thousands of stuff every month. And this is what we want to do. And it's cool artwork. It's this thing. They just, it's hard to get them. It takes, you know, like you said, Margaritaville, it's like takes 4 or 5 years to finally get them to order with you. And then, yeah, they don't refer. It's just kind of like, all right, what do we got to do to like get more people like that to where our schedule's full of like 20 or 30 whale clients that I'm not scared if one of them goes away or 2 of them go away. It's like I have an arsenal of them. But then, yeah, we have the normal day-to-day stuff coming in. So we've been more focused on like, okay, what are the brands or what are the companies that make us the most money and are the easiest to deal with? And that's kind of like the leads that we're going for. Yeah, 100%, dude. We've been doing this for 15 years, and it's like we go through waves of like certain clientele that we have. Like when we first started, we were like in a band, and we were like, oh yeah, we want to fucking print for other bands. And it's like we realized like printing for bands is cool in the sense of like you're printing for your peers and you're printing like fun artwork, but they kind of fucking suck as a customer. Like they never have money. They're always fucking doing everything last minute and whatever. And then you get this sweet treat of a client of like a corporate person who's like one email deep. Here's my budget. This is what I want.
Yeah.
They pay their invoice and it's done. And you're like, how the fuck do I get more of those?
Yeah.
And then that's where we're at now.
By having brand.
No, I understand.
All of we're very diverse. We print, 50 shirts for a landscaping company, but we also print, like you said, thousands of shirts for corporate or for brands, big brands and corporations and stuff like that. And so I didn't call any of them. Not a single one was a sales call. But they come here. So why is that?
It's just because you're so handsome, I think.
I mean, of course, that's the whole reason. But I mean, but if we're really looking at this, I think that it's important to recognize that even if you're calling on somebody and you're like, because they're not going to find you otherwise because nobody's sharing your name. If you're calling on them, they're going to look into your brand. They're going to look before.
Oh,
if they're big, if they're Margaritaville, they're just not giving.
You know what's happened? Oh, I'm sorry, Andy. No, I was just saying it's just something that popped up. But you know what's happened a lot over the past 5 years is because like you guys, y'all treat y'all's customers, so good that they're always going to remember that. So a lot of these buyers, how we've expanded a lot of times is that, yes, building the brand, because a lot of times that buyer that buys those hundreds of thousands of shirts for some big corporation, they may go to another big corporation that has hundreds of thousands. And then you're doing their old place and their new place. And they're like, hey, how's the old place doing? And you're like, they're doing still really good. So and then you're doing both places. So that, people, don't ever burn bridges, right? So like those same people, they know your brand. So I agree with that. So they're moving to another corporation, and then that opens up doors because you treated them right. So, but I don't know, that's popped up because this happened a bunch.
I definitely agree with the brand thing. I think that's super strong. And I think that's also part of what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to make these like higher end promo boxes to send out to these kind of people that we're trying to get on our 100 list.
Does that work well? for y'all?
Honestly, I think it's great. I think it's
awesome.
It's a curated box for these clients. So like say, I don't know, pick a random big customer you're trying to get after or whatever. If you find out the actual person, say it's like Tiffany at some whatever place, you talk to them on the phone, you get a vibe, you feel out like what kind of person they are. It's like, all right, well, what's your shirt size, whatever. Like, okay, here's a shirt. Like, here's maybe one or two shirts that we've printed in different techniques. Here's like, you know, we have these like custom made pottery planters we're putting together with like a soil brick and like a plant. And it's like, here's a plant for your office. And like, here's all these different things in there that aren't just like generic shit we pulled off the shelf. It's like things that are specific to that person. And then they remember us because of those things and the conversation we've started and everything else. And it's kind of like, not only do they get that box, but we try to ask them like, what are some brands and samples you would like to like try on that you don't currently use? So we call SNS and we say, hey, you know, we got this big prospective client, like, and they really want to try the 1717 and they want to try this hoodie and they want to try this. And, you know, our rep sends them out a sample of each. And then not only do they get their box, they get their samples. And then we're kind of off to the races of, they haven't paid for anything yet. We're just talking, but they've already gotten like a ton of free shit.
So we do kind of essentially the same thing, but we do it with art. So we just send free spec art. So we'll just put together a whole booklet of art for them for like, let's say fall right now. We're doing tons and tons of stuff for like amusement parks and stuff, like just putting together like just cool artwork, stuff that may look good. And then if they don't take it, we're still not losing out because we can just name drop it or, you know, throw it at somebody else. So, so free spec art has worked out really well for us on that.
And I think being in that specific market of having those really cool artists is kind of, it just accelerating your brand as well too, because people know you for that style. And if they want it, then they can come to you and do it. So
for sure. So, Andy, how are you approaching? Are you doing the boxes as well? How is that working for you? Or
no, I like that idea though. I mean, I think if you're, I mean, if somebody's trying to win us over for something, I would notice a special, you know, curated box like Dylan's talking about, you know, over just the, you know, the typical sample. I mean, you want to be noticed, right? And so how do you achieve that? I think Dylan has the right idea. No, we haven't tried that though.
I was just curious. I know I've tried the box thing and then, or I haven't tried the box thing, but I've given people like samples and stuff, but a lot of them are like, but what does it look like if it says Lucy's on it, you know? And you're like, well, I mean, I can't just print one. I mean, DTF or whatever, but you know, screen printing, I'm like, oh, well, do you like the shirt though? You know?
Right.
So I know a lot of times that's been something else, but dude, I mean, you've got an amazing brand though, Shirt Kong. I mean, the funny thing is that when I first started this company, I didn't know, you know, the name, right? I'm trying to figure out the name. So one of the first names that popped up was your place, which is kind of cool. And I didn't really know anything about the industry as in like, you know, other printers or whatever. I just said, cool screen print shop names. And it was like Shirt Kong. And I was like, dude, that is so cool. Cause you could be like Shirt Kong, you know, I was thinking about it in my head.
Yeah.
It just sounds so just beefy, you know? So, you're doing a really fantastic
and then
job.
you actually get a hold of him and realize he's just a gentle, sweet soul, man.
You're not beating your chest anymore. Like,
those days are over. Yeah.
Oh man.
I wish I would give it all up, the entire company, if I could just, and I would go back to
beat your chest.
Yeah. Like being able to just like beat my chest. I mean, amazing. Like to have like a good back, be able to like even
trade it all.
Forget it.
How is your back? How's your back? How's it doing?
Good and bad. Yeah, it's good and bad. So it's a process.
It's a process. I have a couple listener questions I want to do before we get into some other stuff. So
hopefully
some of these we kind of touch base on real quick, but let's see here what we can do. Timbo Slices says, how do you approach a non-traditional marketing option to a traditional shop owner? Have you found success in marketing plans that you thought were going to flop?
Marketing.
So was there like a marketing idea that you thought was going to be, I guess, not, you took a chance on and found out it actually was really good. I think a lot of the door-to-door stuff is probably got to be part of that, or your Tuesday thing.
So the Tuesday thing for sure. I don't know. I felt really good about the door-to-door stuff. I think, you know what, I don't know. I think that doing Facebook ads and stuff like that was a flop. I thought that was going to be a really good idea. Usually it's a lot of people that don't have, I hate to say this, people don't shoot me, but usually it's the people that, you know, they don't have the money. They're wanting something like you said, like, you know, 1 or 2 shirts. And sadly, we don't offer that yet. We don't have, you know, DTF or anything like that. I haven't got into that yet. So we just, you know, cause we're trying to get a little bit more volume numbers, for what we have set up here.
Right.
So I think the Instagram socials, stuff like that, that was the flop, sadly. I think the things that were definitely a win is the door-to-door, and the cold. You know, it's funny. A lot of people ask me, they're like, how the heck did you even get into some of these places? Like we just said, Margaritaville, whatever. It's just cold emails. And they're like, emailing? Right. Yeah, I cold email. And they're like, but who do I email?
We found out more and more over the last year that I feel like traditional methods of sales is working a lot more than just being like, oh, we're going to do everything on social media and whatever. Like 100%. 5 years ago, we got a ton of business from socials. Now it's like next to none. It's like social people come to us from emails or phone calls or walking in or whatever.
I look at social media now as brand building. Like Andy said, is brand building and a portfolio. That's all it is for us. Is because, you know, I used to send like, you know, 10 plus designs on an email showing like, this is what we've done for other people, you know, because it captures their eye. They're like, oh man, that's a parrot in a hammock. That's a really nice parrot in a hammock. Oh man, I need to find out if I could get a parrot in a hammock like that for my place, you know? So it's like, that was working. And I was like, wait a minute, instead of putting like 20 freaking pictures on there of all this stuff, let me just start building our social media account.
Send the Instagram link.
Send it to them. Yeah. Cause a lot of these people, they're just like, what's your socials? You know? So they'll read it and they'll click the
I feel like it's a really good business card.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all it is anymore.
It sounds like your cold emails really quick are personalized. It's not so spammy. So like I think you were describing earlier your email, you would say something to them that more personal that you knew about them. Sure. They were like personally written. It wasn't an automated thing you were blasting to 5,000 people. It sounded like they were personal. And is that accurate?
Yes, you are. Now there's a lot of good portions of it, or I would be a total liar. That's not copy and pasted. Just for timing.
You still can look at it and like put in a couple keywords here and there that are more tailored to them.
Yeah. And I still do that's what we do. You know, yeah. Like, you know, just like if it's something, you know, in Atlanta, like, you know, I've always wanted to do, you know, I'm a huge fan of aquariums. So I've always wanted to do the Atlanta aquarium because I'm just a huge fan. So like, and I still do like to this day, send them emails, but yeah, I send them emails and stuff. And I'll be like, you know, hey, love going there. Love the world of Coke. You know, my last name is Woodruff, Robert Woodruff, the founder of Coke. You know, like I write all this stuff, like, you know, just trying to just make a conversation.
I love Coke.
Have I heard anything? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, man, you know? So, but yeah, I mean, just anything you could do to personalize it versus being so spammy. Cause you know, a lot of people are just getting so just lazy with it. And if you could just try to, you know, not be lazy with it and act like you're having a conversation, like we're having a conversation today, it's always going to work out. So.
Yeah. Have you tried real quick into that? Have you tried AI at all to find like a new way of saying something like that?
So I have a couple times just for fun. But it's I don't know. It's just not me. It's like too professional sometimes. I'm like, man, I wasn't going to put a period there. Like back it out a little bit.
What I've been trying for myself is like putting in the topic or the, you know, give me a introductory email to a brewery from a screen print shop or something, and then just see what it comes up with. And then that at least gives me like a framework idea of like, oh yeah, I should talk
idea.
about this other thing, or I like retype the whole thing. Like I don't want to copy and paste that, but it gives me the like structure to be like
an outline.
This makes me sound like a good person, not like the jackass that I am of like, I just want to fucking print your shirts, dude. Like,
Yeah,
whatever. Like it helps me get that together. So
see, I have to get on the phone. I have to get on the phone with people because I am terrible at typing. I'm terrible. I'm like, I'm from South Alabama, I guess, but yeah.
But I do agree with that. Even talking to you now, like you're a lot more of like an alive person I would like to hang out with than if we just did like the text. So I try to do that all the time.
Yeah.
I try to do that all the time with customers. Like if it's something I'm like, I just want to get you on the phone quick to like, even if it's an introductory 5 minutes of like, this is what we can do for you. It's way better to have that, just talking to each other to find out if this person's a dick or not. Because you can take a line of text anyway. You can be like, are they grumpy? Are they this? Are they that? And it's like, you can find out instantly on a phone call.
Yeah.
This might be a good one because this is kind of like what I'm diving into a little bit now is like, what tools do you use to help aid in the process? What helps you keep track of everything? Tips to eliminate the 30 plus emails back and forth. Do you use anything to kind of like keep track of the clients that you're reaching out to, or like a CRM or like the cadence of just reaching out to people?
You're gonna think I'm crazy. I kind of just do it all by memory and by email and by just keeping up with it. I've put myself in that headspace of just keeping up with it. And, but if I get a new client, obviously I'm going to put them into, we use Printavo and Monday app and stuff like that. So I'll put it in there, like information or whatever, just so that I don't lose track. But I think 100% of our business is on this phone, everything. Well, there's my son. He's awesome. But the next screen printer, maybe. Or next shop kid like I was. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just something you have to develop in your mind and your day-to-day process of, hey, I want to be successful in screen printing. I want to be successful in this business. What do I have to do? And I had to make that mindset. Especially as y'all know, when you're so hungry. I mean, 5 years ago, I had no clients at all. It was just me, my dad, John, and a screen printing press that was making no money.
Doing what you got to do to get it going.
Yeah. And not having any money to pay anybody anything because you have no money coming in. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's a mindset thing, but also, every time I get something in, I'll enter it in like, just your basics, Printavo, Monday app, keep up with it, follow up with them. But I think it's a mindset thing, honestly.
We ended up, like I said, trying to use Pipedrive and kind of get everything in there. And then we found out over the last couple of weeks of using it that basically our honest opinion is that we could get away with doing something almost better and easier in like a Google Excel form than paying the $60 a user for Pipedrive and so on. So saving, like $200 something a month versus we had a new hire come in and build something in Excel that I think is better than Pipedrive that they did in a day. And it's easier to look at, easier to follow. And my biggest thing is it's tailored to us specifically. And it's kind of like, I want the reason why I'm saying using something like a CRM or something like this for this task is they're doing it every single day. Like say they set aside an hour and a half, 2 hours a day to do outreach. I want them to remember on a list of 100 people they're trying to contact. Where was I with this person? Like, am I 2 emails in? Am I 3 phone calls? Like, where am I at? Like notes to that. Like, is this person an asshole? So on. So to me, that was the best way to go about it is to kind of make your own custom thing. So, I think that's
it's whatever. Honestly, it's just whatever works for you. I mean, look at how old school I am. I mean, I got
you're about to show me your Rolodex.
Oh, dude, but freaking notepads of just scribble scratches all over it. Like, hey, call this person, do this, whatever.
I'm the same. I've been ridiculed on this show a million times for using sticky notes. So,
oh my gosh, dude, I've got sticky notes everywhere.
I support your sticky notes. Dylan?
Do you have one good shop hack you can share with us? Because we're bringing shop hacks back to the show. So
shop hack,
even if it's something we've
like
said
production
before,
stuff or
anything, sales, production, life.
let me think.
Anything.
I'll tell you what, you helped me out on one. Baby wipes.
That's always been our number one.
You saved my ass, and my freaking place back there is still dirty as hell. And I get onto them all the time. Oh my God, dude. I see shops like the ones that you go and do tours of, Dylan. And it's just like, God, that place is beautiful. And then you come and look at ours and it looks like a rat hole. I was just kidding. Just kidding. I'm sure people can hear me. But it's just because I got newbies and they're not strong enough to hold up the gallon, and they're like shaking and they're like getting ink everywhere and whatever. But I'm trying to think of a good shop hack. I mean, we're very, very basic here. Like, we're very old school. I mean, you still use film and.
Do you have anything that helps you throughout the day with your own like sales stuff or anything like that? That might be a tip, or even the door to door walking in and not being nervous and talking to somebody. I did like your one of saying, "Hey, I was next door," and this is a thing.
Yeah. So, always make yourself like you're already there kind of thing.
Right.
Like, so yeah, that's a good one. So, let's say I'm walking in somewhere, or let's say I already have a client that I've established with, right? And use that to your advantage. Go next door, go down the street, and then keep on using that same method every time. So every time you walk in, you're like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And they're like this. They're at their desk, that little look.
Right.
Yeah. And you're like, "Hey, look, I'm not going to bother y'all for too long. Hey, just real quick, I do shirts for Panini Pete's down the street. Just wanted to see if y'all are looking at doing any apparel, we screen print and whatever, and I'll show them a shirt. Like I said, always have something in hand.
Almost like you're slightly put off by being there, but you kind of wanted to.
Yeah, like you really don't. You're like, I don't want to be here, guys.
Right, like I don't want to sell to you, but like, hey, I got this.
And
cool
they're
shit.
like, yeah, and I'm like, but I really got this. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, and I'm like, so here's the shirt. It looks really nice. It's got a guitar on it. Whatever. It's really nicely printed. And then they feel it and they scratch it and they go, "Oh, that's really nice." And then they put it over to the side and I'm like, "You know what? Keep the shirt for a little bit. I'll come back, like a week or so and I'll come back and get it." And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, just keep the shirt. If it's somebody I really want, I'll leave something there. Just leave it."
Your wallet.
Forget it. It's kind of like a bad girlfriend,
I was going to say
like
that's
she always
like
leaves an earring.
That's
like
I've seen
shit,
that.
she lost an earring again.
I've seen that in movies where you go on a date or whatever and you leave something like your watch or something so that you have a reason to come back. That's what you're doing.
Yeah,
you're just doing
crazy
sales.
Do the crazy girlfriend vibe. Yeah, just
that's hell of a shop hack. All right, cool,
dude. I love it, man. That's what I do. Leave something.
All right, Andy, hit us with it.
All right, we have 3 over-unders today. All you got to do is let me know if you think they're overrated, underrated, or properly rated. The first one. God love these tomatoes.
Not what I expected at all. And the look on Seth's face.
They're in season. Here they are. They're like, if you're going to get a tomato, get it now.
But the thing is though, it's like sometimes I can hide a tomato like on a like a cheeseburger and I'm like, "Oh, that's all right." But I'm not going to eat it like on a salad. Like I'm giving my tomato to my wife. Like overrated, dude. They're just
like cherry tomatoes too. Like I just instantly throw those off my plate.
It's a texture thing, man. It's weird.
It's like a snotty grape.
More for me.
God.
More for me. Okay, next. So they are underrated. Next we have the show, the glorious show, Ancient Aliens.
Mm-hmm. It's a great hotel room show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm obsessed with aliens. Like ever since I saw Bob Lazar, like on Joe Rogan, I obsessed. But I haven't really got into the TV show, so I don't really have anything to say. Maybe it's I'm going to say maybe overrated, I guess, and the reason why is because it's a TV show. So I want to hear like some facts, like some from some folks, like, if they're on like, the Joe Rogan podcast, something like that. So
my problem is, and this is just fun, like I love aliens, I love all like cryptid stuff, It's like one of my favorite things. Everyone knows I'm into Sasquatch and all that other stuff. My problem is that I watch these shows and I love movies. I love all this stuff. I just get in the zone watching it where I just believe everything they say. Like, this makes sense. Like, there is a hollow earth, and dude, this makes total sense that the aliens live in there. And like, the moon is a structure made by, another civilization and all these things. And it's like, I'm like, this fucking makes sense. Like, why is this not real? Why are we not looking into this?
Yeah, like, I'm obsessed with like Billy Carlson now. Oh, Billy. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. He's on Joe Rogan, but you'll have to go check him out. But I'm like super obsessed with watching his stuff. And my wife's like, again? Like, I'm like, yeah. Like, leave me alone.
I buy into too much of that stuff. But again, it's all for fun. It's not like I'm taking
That's what I think. That's what I think is important. I think that's entertainment. I think that it's underrated. I used to like Joanne just loves it. And so she had it on. She'll have it on.
I do love it.
And I look at it. I used to watch it and think, man, this is the stupidest shit ever. Of course, that's not real. Like, according to ancient alien theorists, and I'm like, no, who is this guy?
It's always
just
some
a guy.
fucking haggard looking old guy.
Hey, it's that one guy that looks like this.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The crazy hair guy.
Yeah. Crazy hair guy. And so I think his name's like Giorgio or whatever. And so
I could probably pull that off.
The fun part about that, though, there's a podcast and a YouTube show that I like a lot. It's called The Y Files. And basically he finds these like documents and these whole stories and these like conspiracies. And he does like the TV show where he'll do like an hour of just being like, there's a secret alien base in Antarctica, and he'll do like all the facts that make it like, these are the literal like news reports. This is the thing. And he'll do the whole thing where it's like, this is real. And then the
fish.
Yeah. And then the last half hour, he's like, this has been debunked. This isn't real. Like, this was found out to be a lie. But then the end of it is always like the cliffhanger of like, but they don't know why this happened. When it's like the end of it. And it's like, so that's what's awesome is like, you get this hour story that pulls you in of like, this is fucking awesome. There are aliens in Antarctica, and that's why we can't go there. This is this whole thing. And then he kind of reels you back to reality a little bit, but then in the end punches you in the balls with like, dude, they might be there though.
Yeah. I've seen that. So that's awesome.
That's where I give it an underrated, and you need to live a little and have some excitement in your life.
I agree. Okay. Finally, we have probably very controversial subject,
Tomatoes.
and that is gas grills.
That's all I was raised with. So I guess it is what it is. Propane grill. I mean, it's just, I guess.
propane accessories.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. It's just, that's pretty much it. I don't know. Underrated, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It still cooks stuff. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big, see, the thing is that I don't cook, and my wife hates that, because she cooks everything and she's always mad. She's like, I mean, I have a grill that's been broken for like a year now. I still haven't even. Yeah. See that. So you're talking to somebody. Yeah.
You mean that's what they break? You're saying?
Yeah. I always used to be a grill guy. Like, I love grilling. I grilled last night. We did breakfast on the flat top out here at the shop last night. And, I grilled for forever. The problem was you go buy this awesome grill, you're making stuff all summer long, you're cleaning it, you're scraping it, you're doing everything you can do. But most of the time after the first year, maybe into the second year, the bottom's all rotted out because you're cooking with shit that's just like dripping into the bottom, and it's rusting, it's falling apart, and the burner elements are all shot to hell and everything else. And it's like, you end up pulling a stainless steel grill out to the curb, and it looks beautiful, but then you open it up and like it's
just
to hell.
Garbage.
Yeah. So I ended up getting on the train of using like the Blackstones and the flat tops, and it's like I love them. Like, I can't not use it now. Like, it's so nice for like hamburgers and like, doing vegetables and chicken, like all the same. Like I said, last night we did fucking eggs and French toast and sausage and bacon, like all on the same flat top. And it was awesome. I do miss like a flame
The flavor
on certain
like a
things, so.
charcoal.
Yeah, like if you're making like a burger and you get like the flame to it, it's better.
My
But
wife loves
if you're
hibachi
making
on
a
it.
burger and it's like a greasy mix, you're just gonna have fucking crazy flame flare ups everywhere and things are burnt or whatever else. So
Yeah.
I think if you're saying gas grill, it's properly rated if you like buying a grill every other year. But I think if you get a flat top and a grill, I'm a Blackstone guy now.
Yeah, my brother-in-law is a huge Blackstone guy now. Like he's like, dude, you got to get one. You got to get one. He even brought it over to our house and like, did like hibachi, did the little like, the little onion volcano, and he's acting like he had a little train and everything.
I'm not doing that.
Nah, he's always trying to be a funny dude. But
my favorite thing is diners, and diners cook all their food on a flat top, so can't be wrong. Yeah,
you're a big diner guy.
I do love a diner.
Yeah. I guess I'll end off on this. I know we're cutting it off, but did Christina tell you about how I saw you at the show?
No.
I was going to introduce myself.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So I posted it too on a story.
I did see that, but I don't know when you saw it.
Yeah, dude, I saw you. Let's see. I bought the Cobra. It was whatever the show was in Atlanta. Which one is that?
Was that last year?
It's like November, maybe.
All of that is such a blur to me because
it is.
For the last 5 years, me and Andy have gone to like everything, and I can't.
Was it Printing United in Atlanta or something?
That's it. Printing United. Yeah. So I saw you, and I was standing next to you, and you're like, you're looking at a laser, like a laser machine for burning screens.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever get that?
I do. I have it. Yes.
Dude, is it good?
It's amazing.
God, I'm
I like
freaking
it a lot.
jealous. So anyways, that's another reason why, because I wanted to ask you if it was cool or not. But I was standing next to you and you're like listening to the guy and you're like really like in tune with it. Like you're just like looking at it and it was all like beep, 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 beep. And I was like, should I say something? Should I not? And I was like, no, I'm not going to say anything.
The answer is yes. Say something.
Yeah.
We would have instantly became best friends.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah. But yeah, I also just wanted to kind of intertwine with that if you like the laser. I don't know a lot of people that have one, so
I do like it a lot. There are a lot of great things about it. You can go talk to Kevin at Chromaline. He can help you out. But It's been really good for us with like sim process. I know you're doing a lot of that kind of stuff. It's awesome for that because it's perfect dots.
It's all we do. It's kind of annoying sometimes.
And it's crazy that you're doing, I mean, it's not crazy, but you're doing that with film still.
11 color jobs, every day.
Upgrade, dude. You're never gonna look at it and be like, oh, can I afford this and whatever. Do it and it'll pay itself back so fast.
Sounds good. If I had the power, we ran out of freaking power. I got to get 3-phase too, so we're like completely maxed out. So I don't know what we're gonna do next.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually kind of scared. So, but yeah.
Sell it all and go DTF. There you go. I solved everything. You don't need 3-phase. You don't need 3-phase for that.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier.
Seth, thank you for talking shop with us today.
Man, thank you
Appreciate
so much.
You,
and huge fans of you guys. I watch y'all every week. So keep it up, keep pushing it, and Shirt Show.
Come hang out with us next time at the show.
Yeah, I would love to. Can't wait. Shirt Show.